Although it's said that reality TV is unpredictable, nothing could have prepared viewers for the explosive moment when Mena's scathing attack against Two of Love and the most reputable hip-hop artists in Atlanta engaged in a private altercation. In the dressing room that was surreptitiously captured and promptly posted online, Erica fired a barrage of scathing comments at Mendeecees, Harris, and Kirk Frost, denouncing them in the most severe ways possible, and doubting their moral character, a black key males in hip-hop culture, Emotions were run high. When Kirk, clearly surprised, attempted to defend himself, he was confronted by Erica's ruthless charges. Men, who has always presented a calm, public persona, stormed out of the room in shock, leaving the team frantically trying. Fans are stunned that a seasoned cast member would jeopardize everything by crossing such a combustible line. Producers intervened as reports circulated that Erica would soon be fired, declaring that this outrageous outburst will not air since it is in violation of the network's norms, but viewers aren't taking it lying down. The family was split up, gossip blogs went viral, and there is a lot of conjecture on social media about whether Erica's career will endure this criticism or if she has been irreparably damaged. You won't want to miss this dispute, Eric, so keep an eye on her bridges. Backstage at the Atlanta Convention Center, Mena's tantrum started like a slow-burning fire in that little hot dressing room. Convention Center. As she paced back and forth, the lights above flickered. Kirk Frost Indy Harris had arrived, and she spoke in a low, shaking voice filled with wrath. Just moments before, after a cast meeting in which tensions were already high due to storyline leaks and personal betrayals, no one anticipated the discussion to become so gloomy. Erica cut through the tea silence. Kirk said with a snap. You think you've unlocked his shunlocked, kid, don't you? Arched an eyebrow, obviously surprised, and Mindy notices a difference in comfort. Erica's eyes were blazing with rage as she charged at them, looking at Kirk as if she was looking for silent encouragement. You two sit there and preet black. Be dignify black act, guys, but you're all frauds hiding behind your notoriety. Seemed oppressive, and crew members were waiting outside the door with their phones poised, aware that something explosive was occurring. But they were also aware of the network's stringent guidelines regarding the broadcasting of hate speech, so Erica's tone became even more acerbic. Kirk, you act like a proud father and husband while you're in Atlanta, but you're unable to run your own company. Mendy observes that I don't believe I've forgotten how you pleaded for pity after you emerged from jail. You pretended to be superior to everyone else, but let's face it, you're Kirk, black another Rant black. K-man with a grudge opened his mouth. To Erica interrupted him, and her remarks bounced throughout the you've developed, You've developed the advantage at your professions by taking advantage of your culture and heritage. But you're the men in arst to condemn those who genuinely. Men in DC stood up for themselves. You are nothing more than hypocrites. His face reddened in shock. Erica, what are you doing? You understand how that I'm sick of you two. I don't care how it sounds. She hissed, her voice resonating against the walls made blackened blocks. You're simply two irate black males who are resentful of your own shortcomings, and you're acting superior to the rest of us. In a whisper to the director, a crew member pushed the door open a little and said, We're getting this on tape. Producers texted the network right away, and the director's eyes widened. This was the kind of scandal that could ruin careers. Erica begs for direction, unaware of the increasing number of onlookers outside. The door persisted in her tirade, and her tone became sarcastic. Kirk, don't you think? You have a few side projects, which makes you a big shot, but keep in mind that you donated to Gaia's charity last month. A pitiful $1,000 and ensured that Mendy could see the cameras rolling. You're always preaching about redemption, yet you've never acknowledged the rumors that you messed up your parole arrangement. Kirk's mouth clenched as he looked at Mendeecees, who appeared prepared to erupt. The tension in the air crackled, and Kirk finally found his words. Erica, you're overstepping your bounds. I've always been there for you on this show, offering guidance when you needed it, and Mendeecees has. In this franchise, you've always been a voice of reason. Erica's lips formed a sour smile. Voice of reason. You mean a Mendeecees taught in prison? According to a man who served more than 5 years in prison. From where I'm standing, it appears that you're still clinging on to something, which has either made you more resentful or humble. Victim attitude. Mendeecees struck a nearby vanity table with his fist, throwing enough with the hair and makeup. Erica. This is a personal matter, not only an insult. Attack on all black men who have exactly difficulty succeeding in this field. Exactly, Era retorted. I'm going after you. Due to the fact that you both pretend to be cultural warriors while actually relying only on our story, you're defensive, irate, and set in your ways at that point. Kirk's. His expression darkened with resolve as he moved forward, bridging the distance between you can't say that and expect to go unhurt, Erica. She folded. Her eyes were cold, but she said, I can and I will because someone had to call you out. After a moment of silence, the assistant's voice broke the stillness with the sound of a phone camera clicking, shuddered as she showed the director the footage. It was evident that Erica's tirade was more than just a confrontation of word traveled, quickly since it was extremely personal and blatantly offensive. Producers gathered in emergency meetings throughout the production offices to discuss whether to scrap or cut the segment. Erica's complete participation in the meantime, the cast's group chat erupted with reactions sock Eric Heron and immediately began trending Eric Heron and Lhhatl sharing memes and videos. Some people supported Erica's freedom of speech, although the majority denounced her for the obvious racial insults, Kirk and Mendeecees. Withdrawing into a private area, he said, Kirk's look was a mixture of hurt and rage. I thought we had mutual. Mendeecees put a hand on Kirk's shoulder and whispered, Bax, we do, but she crossed a line. You are aware that this will impact the entire cast and is larger than us. Mendeecees shook his head as Kirk ran a hand through his hair, saying, It's unbelievable that she would use race as a weapon like that. Should be above it. Let the network deal with this. They'll be forced to act. Erica paced obliviously back on set. That she was confronted by crew members after her remarks sparked a flurry of criticism. Her confidence faltered as they gently warned her that network ex-boyfriends were approaching. Fans had gathered outside the building, chanting Erica's name for the first time, and displaying signs calling for Kirk and Mendeecees to receive justice. Social media influencers live-streamed outside the studio gates, making predictions about Erica's future. One well-known inside the site, the blogger said, This is the end of Erica Mena on Lhhatl. Erica grimaced as the executive producer strode in his face and said, The network just told me that they believe the language you used is inappropriate and that you will not be appearing in any further episodes. Erica's eyes widened as she trembled. Can't do that to me. Her trembled, mambled, against everything we stand for. I'm sorry, the producers said firmly. They don't want the controversy. You're off the program. Mendeecees and Kirk exchanged words as Erica sank into a chair. Expressions of relief and sadness. An outburst had now shattered Thaddeus they had fostered on this that would go down as one of the most explosive scenes in the franchise. The last scene was staged while the cameras rolled. Cast members watched in awe as producers escorted Erica off stage, and in Kirk and Mendeecees' view, standing together in solidarity, the chapter was closed. But Erica's unexpected outburst didn't stop the consequences from starting. It exploded on social media like a bomb inside the studio, shaking the walls. My new TikTok, the leaked video that we TikTok and TikTok, Instagram, and we were bombarded with screenshots of her remarks, and fans were furious, using hashtags like Our Black Unity and Protector Culture description owns remarks. On description ik maker lip-synced. When some TikTok maker lip-synced, TikTok maker lip-synced seed inside the audio back. Fundamental human decency. while another shared a mashup of Erica's tirade and old videos of civil rights demonstrations, highlighting the extent to which her remarks deviated from any appropriate conversation. In the meantime, Facebook groups, devoted to talking about reality, TV drama exploded with thousands of posts on the Atlanta Drama Daily closed group. Users argued on whether F wrote, "Thisca one member was the wrote, thisly op wrote, thison wrote." This is about accountability, not cancel culture. She crossed a someone else countered, "Why give her more airtime when removing her is the only way?" To fans tagged Kirk Frost on Instagram stories to preserve the show's integrity. Ann wife, r.Tiffany.m Mendeecees direct co-wife, or Tiffany.o speak out for Kirk Ty account. Tiffany reposted a stat back count, OM Kirk's official Ayaku behavior. I'm pleased with Kirk's behavior. He remained composed and reunion came back to life. Mama turned to talk about Erica's Sheen Divers. Severed from numero endeavors. Are severaling future reality endeavors. Everaller were interested in casting Erica in other productions, but the majority have retracted their offers following this incident. The audience exclaimed, "It's a reminder that decisions have real-world repercussions beyond of television." Reporters and fans gathered outside the studio to speculate on Erica's next move. Erica has burned. A reality TV pundit was interviewed by a Bridgeu's crew. Reality Tiff Thurbridge controversy, but there's a Bridges here, he observed tense. She reached the threshold. Tensida Osphir in Erica's house was career. Erica nodded when softly career D. If you want to save your career, you have to show real remorse and make tangible amends. She said, "I'll do whatever it takes," while wiping away her tears. Yvette nodded, but in the meantime, Erica's legal counsel was evidently doubtful, examined their options and discussed whether to file a defamation lawsuit against the production, alleging that the Rant footage had been altered or misrepresented. One lawyer countered, "We can claim entrapment," or another warned, "If we can demonstrate that the producers manipulated the Rant, we may have a case." Unaltered, and in her own words, bringing this up could backfire and make her appear defensive. Erica issued a pre-recorded apologetic video in the days after the reunion. Wearing a white blouse against a neutral backdrop, she talked gently. "I sincerely apologize for the hurt my remarks have caused Kirk Mendeecees and our community. She started by letting my rage get in the way of my judgment. I accept full responsibility, and I'm determined to improve my listening skills." The apology received a range of responses. Some fans embraced it and praised me for using my platform to promote unity rather than divisiveness. One person wrote, "It takes courage to apologize," while others stayed. "After you uttered such things," another person said, "skeptical words are cheap." A well-known blogger polled people about whether Erica should be given another shot, and 60% said no. Additionally, sponsors took into account T Restoring and athleisure brands. W Restoring they would only take into Restore Education, Borations following Erica Education, Thai Service and Diversity Education. Erica's group declared that she would be speaking about the effects of racism and hate speech at a nearby high school. While some commended the project, while some called it a publicity gimmick. In the larger context of TIV, other cast members expressed their growth. While Spice shared a though growth evoking, is let's sage on growth, originates from Ree's latanceability. Let's everyone discover. Bambi posted a short Clifford lauding. These posts, which emphasize the need of limits and forgiveness, kept the discussion going as fans analyzed every detail. Late one evening, Erica sat by herself in a tiny studio that she had rented for an anticipated podcast return. Her producer captured her practicing a moving monologue that I would want to discuss, mending regarding the fact that words can cause more pain than a fist. But her voice broke, and she halted, and she began to question whether this was the best course of action or whether there was another way to further the situation by revealing that Kirk and Mendy were having discussions, according to reality TV insiders. To use the momentum from the collaborative spin-off series centered on constructive community projects to a working title was alluded to by a network executive in A Scandal to Showcase Black Achievement. Rising Above the Noise fans were aware of the irony of Erica's divisive tirade. As the third chapter of our story comes to a close, Erica finds herself at a crossroads. Will her reputation be restored by her apology and community service? Or will the industries in the meantime, Kirk and Mendeecees' hopes of redemption are overshadowed by the memory of her argetrix? Get ready for their new endeavor, ready to transform suffering into meaning. In our last segment, Part 4, we'll explore the spin-off's development, Erica's legal battle, and if the cast's broken bonds can ever be repaired. After the turmoil from the reunion subsided, Erica's legal options became the next front in this story. In a downtown Atlanta office with WTOMs covered in framed degrees and Tomazel Tums, an attorney called a strategy meeting. Erica sat uncomfortably at the big mahogany table, drumming her fingers as her counsel presented two potential strategies. The first was a defamation lawsuit, alleging provocation and selective editing against the producers. The second was a public relations pact that prioritizes harm mitigation over legal disputes if we went to court, and her lead lawyer started off calmly. We run the danger of more unwelcome exposure. Your voice appears in the unedited clip, and the defense will highlight the uncut film. We would need to demonstrate tampering or entrapment, which is challenging given network protocols. He took a moment to process what he had said. With Erica looked at him. With her boss, Faith, who had a hopeful yet nervous expression on her face, her co-counsel continued, "It could be smarter to work out a deal with the network, find a compromise that will allow you to return under tight conditions. Perhaps following sensitivity training, the network has leg termination to terminate your contract completely, although they might also want a more subdued approach." Instead of a lengthy argument, Erica's voice trembled as she said, I wish I hadn't said those things, but I want to battle the network and prove that I can develop and learn. Debate into something constructive. Energy-filled brainstorming sessions focused on the tentative. The idea behind the series, Rising Above the Noise, was straightforward but impactful. Two men who were put through public trials, one would actually and one would figuratively cross communities highlighting community-based programs that train young people and honor Black greatness. Kirk, and in a bright conference room with a view of the Atlanta skyline, Mendeecees met with showrunners. Kirk reclined in his chair. The seriousness of recent events tempers the exhilaration, yet this could be our opportunity to use our platform for genuine change. Murmured gently. Mindy nodded, his face determined. We've been humbled. Given what we endured, we owe it to our families and supporters to transform suffering into meaning. As screenplays were written and Erica, a pilot scout, started her own path by enrolling in a well-known class on cultural sensitivity. At a neighborhood nonprofit, every session had her face the consequences of her words. She took part in moderated discussions around racism and diversity, heard testimonies from local leaders and power, and even helped organize a young seminar on unity and respect. Experience was eye-opening and humbling. One evening, following a particularly tearful workshop, Erica. The night air felt cold on her skin as she stood outside the community center and spoke softly to a small group of, I came here to learn because my comments hurt individuals I respect, and I've come to understand that anger isn't an excuse for hatred, but I'm determined to improve and use my voice to heal. Her honesty resonated. Later, a number of guests came up to her and told her personal tales of pain and forgiveness. Back in the filming for the spin-off pilot of Kirk and Mendeecees took place in South Atlanta. Kirk mentored a group of teenagers in the community where a grassroots nonprofit was teaching them financial literacy. Of pupils on entrepreneurship and budgeting, Mendy recalls his own early financial difficulties, which led to a seminar on resilience and goal setting that compares his years of life reconstruction after real-life moments were filmed by jail cameras. A T-Kirk.ge girl cuddling Kirk. a young kid praising Mendeecees for believing in him when she landed her first summer job. The producers' insemaments, ESE positive moments including open talks with Kirk and Mendeecees discussing the acknowledged Ion Kirk. Acknowledged. We couldn't have predicted such an attack, but it served as a reminder of the significance of Mendeecees echoed the idea, saying, "We're using this to stand together." Chance to demonstrate that progress is achievable despite challenges. Audiences eagerly anticipated the spin-off's debut as expectation grows on social media with the hashtag #RisingAboveTheNoise. During LA repeats, promotional advertisements highlighted the series' comparison to typical reality drama. Real stories of community, no cheesy antics atonement. In the meantime, Erica's group negotiated her return with the network, offering a unique one-time episode showing how she changed by going to classes and volunteering at community gatherings and making amends with people she had harmed. The network was hesitantly open to the possibility of recover a narrative and show responsibility. Final approval was pending till Erica finished her fundraising and training obligations. During these changes, the chemistry within the original cast started to change. Erica received private messages from a number of members, and Bambi texted, I'm pleased of you for taking responsibility for your errors. If you need help, I'm